Pokemon Go is a unique game because there's super rare Pokemon that are super useful that really only come around once, maybe twice a year. So today we're going over 9 Pokemon you should always catch whenever they come to the game. Starting with Shadow Larvitar. This is one of the best Pokemon on our list today and overall in Pokemon Go in general. And it can only be acquired one way. Team Go Rocket grunts. Shadow Larvitar was introduced into the game back on September 5th, 2019, and it has reigned supreme since then. There's a couple reasons why. For starters, its evolution Tyranitar is just a freaking monster. Even as a non-Shadow, it's still one of the most useful Pokemon in the game and one of the top Rock and Dark type attackers overall. But as a Shadow, it is absurdly powerful due to the 20% Shadow boost on its attack. Currently in Pokemon Go, Shadow Tyranitar is the #1 non-Mega Rock type and the #3 non-Mega Dark type, which are 2 extremely useful typings. The reason why is because Psychic, Flying, and Fire Raid bosses are some of the most common in the game, especially amongst legendary Pokemon, which means having good Rock and Dark type Pokemon is really important. It's a good thing Tyranitar is both. So how exactly do you get this Pokemon and how frequently is it actually in the game? Well, it's here now. If you find a Team Go Rocket grunt with the dialogue, "Let's rock and roll," there's a 36% chance you'll find a Shadow Larvitar as the first battle. Important to know that you don't always get the Shadow Larvitar after defeating it, but usually you do. And Pokemon Go will occasionally switch up the Team Go Rocket grunt Pokemon, so it's really important to grind the good ones while they're here. And one last thing, in order to have a top-ranking Tyranitar or Shadow Tyranitar, you need the exclusive move Smackdown, which means you either have to use an elite TM, or you get lucky and you have an event where you can evolve to a Tyranitar with Smackdown, which is really rare. Rayquaza. Rayquaza is probably my favorite legendary and definitely my favorite shiny legendary. It's not one you want to miss. As of today when I'm recording this, Rayquaza was last in raids 495 days ago. It doesn't come around much. And the last time that it was here, it was literally only here for a little bit over 24 hours. We usually see Rayquaza back in raids once, maybe twice per year, but we might not see it until the Hoenn Tour in 2023. We might go the entire year without Ray. So that's what makes it rare. What makes it so good? Rayquaza is currently the #1 non-Mega and non-Shadow Dragon type Pokemon and the #2 non-Mega, non-Shadow Flying type. That was a lot of nons in there. Just know it's like one of the best Pokemon in both those typings. Flying types are sort of useless, but Dragon types are really helpful, mainly due to the sheer amount of Dragon type legendary raid bosses there are in Pokemon Go. But that's not what... That's not why Rayquaza is so good. It's good because it will have a Mega form come out one day, which will be the god of all dragons. You know how Daenerys Targaryen is the queen of dragons? Yeah, Mega Rayquaza would eat her alive, and all 3 of her dragons. Mega Rayquaza will have an incredible 5,728 max CP, and will be the supreme leader of Dragon-type Pokemon until the end of time. Not to mention, Rayquaza is ranked 69th in Masters League. Nice. Litwick. Now this may seem like a meme comparing Litwick to the rarity of Rayquaza, but I promise it's real. Other than being just honestly a really cool Pokemon with a really cool evolution family, Litwick is actually one of the most useful non-legendary Pokemon in the entire game. Litwick evolves over to Chandelure, which happens to be a top Pokemon. Chandelure is currently the 3rd overall best Ghost type and the #1 non-Mega, non-legendary Ghost type, which means it's technically the most affordable meta Pokemon in the entire Ghost type Pokemon category, which is important because having good Ghost types is really important in Pokemon Go. But Litwick, like other Ghost type Pokemon, is considered more of a spooky spawn, which means it really only comes around during the months of October for the Halloween updates. Like, you can't even hatch it right now. That's how rare it is. Now, I will say I predict that Litwick will get a community day this year during October, because it is quite literally the greatest candidate for an October community day, and it's never happened. It's a time for it to happen. But until that happens, make sure to catch as many of them as you can when they come around. Mewtwo. Mewtwo is quite literally the god of Pokemon Go, as you'll see here, because there's not just one Mewtwo that we're talking about today, there's 4. Regular Mewtwo is currently the 4th overall Psychic type, ranked 10th in the Masters League, and probably the #1 overall favorite raid boss in Pokemon Go history. But not because people want more Mewtwo, for other reasons. Other different Mewtwo's. March 2nd, 2020 was the most recent last chance to catch the most rare version of Mewtwo. Armored Mewtwo. Armored Mewtwo was released as part of a promotional event back in July of 2019 and made one single return in 2020, but nothing since then. Granted, Armored Mewtwo is the least useful version of Mewtwo, but it is the rarest, and if it ever comes back, definitely be sure to grab yourself at least one. And as you can see, I've got 7 Armored Mewtwo. I've saved these. We got these are all from 2019, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, and 2020. There we go. 2019 and 2020. Okay, I only got 1 in 2020. It looks so crazy. But there is a version of Mewtwo that is way more rare and way more useful. Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo was last available as a Giovanni encounter back in February of 2021, and I didn't get enough. I have 3 Shadow Mewtwo, 2 of which completely suck. But this one's good, and I level 50'd it, and this is probably the best Pokemon in my entire account. Shadow Mewtwo is an absolute beast, ranked as the number 2 overall Psychic type, 8th overall in Masters League, and I'm pretty sure it has the single highest damage output in the entire game. It's quite literally one of the best Pokemon that will ever exist in Pokemon GO. And you can't get it. But I think it's super likely that Pokemon GO brings this monster back to Team Go Rocket leader Giovanni Encounters, mainly because so many people probably still don't have it, and it's so useful. And I will make a bold prediction. The first Shadow Shiny Legendary will be Shadow Shiny Mewtwo. And that's not all! Because Mewtwo has 2 different Megas! Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y have been teased multiple times over the years by Pokemon GO, and when they get released, they'll own Pokemon GO Psychic types. Mega Mewtwo Y will be an insane 6,343 max CP, with Mega Mewtwo X not far behind at 6,138. Mega Mewtwo X is also a Fighting type, which will probably make it one of the best fighting types to ever exist. So the big reason why you don't want to miss Mewtwo isn't because it's just rare or cool, but because there's so many useful versions of it that having a bunch of good IV Mewtwo, having a bunch of candy, having a bunch of XL candy is really, really important, because this is one of the best Pokemon that will ever exist in the game. Shadow Swinub. This Pokemon is another similar story to Larvitar Shadow. It's rare, isn't always available, and at the top of its class in its typing. Shadow Swinub is currently available in the Team Go Rocket grunts with dialogue, "You're gonna be frozen in your tracks." Like Shadow Larvitar, it's not always available, but it is always a great target when it is. This is because its evolution, Shadow Mamoswine, is the #1 non-Mega Ice-type Pokemon in Pokemon GO, and Ice types are really good to have due to the amount of Flying-type raid bosses. It's also ranked 33rd in Masters League. And not to mention, Shadow Mamoswine is overall the 6th best ground type, which is definitely useful. And even the non-Shadow version of Mamoswine, the normal version, is great, ranking 4th overall for Ice-type Pokemon and 39th in the Masters League. So if there's ever an event where more Ice-type Pokemon are spawning, including Swinub, it's a great opportunity to Mega an Ice-type Pokemon and get some extra candy and XL candies for this monster, Swinub. Zarude. Zarude is a funny story because it has to be probably one of the rarest Pokemon in the entire game, hands down, and also one of the most useful. Zarude was released only once, to my knowledge, back in October of 2021 during a promotional event. I got mine back in 2021, and unfortunately the IVs sucked. But this Pokemon is indeed a monster, ranked as the #2 non-Mega Grass type and a top 10 overall Dark type Pokemon. And it's ranked 16th in the Masters League. It's really useful all around. So it begs the question, why was it only available once? The answer is because it was released during an event that was used to help promote the debut of a new Pokemon movie on Netflix. Movies are released for the first time only once, and apparently so are the Pokemon they relate to. I definitely see Zarude coming back to Pokemon GO, and eventually the shiny Zarude, and when it does, get it. Shadow Moltres. Fire-type Pokemon, always helpful to have in Pokemon GO, and Shadow Moltres is one of the best. It was available to catch twice. First released in 2020 as part of Pokemon Go Fest, then globally released in May 2021. For some reason, I just never caught it in May 2021, but I did get one during Go Fest in 2020, and look at the IVs on this thing, dude. Oh my god, I couldn't believe this. This is, like the Mewtwo, one of the strongest Pokemon in my entire account. And I still need a level 50 it. Level 50 would bring it up to 3,800. That's gotta happen. Shadow Moltres is currently the #1 non-Mega Fire type in Pokemon Go and puts out a freaking load of damage. Like with other Shadow Legendaries, you can only get it through encounters with the Team Go Rocket leader Giovanni. And obviously, Shadow Pokemon, they're not tradable, so it has to be through your own encounter. And if you wanna know first when this Pokemon is coming back to Giovanni encounters, make sure to sub to the channel because I'll report it here quickly. Beldum. Beldum probably has one of my favorite shiny families out of all of the Pokemon today, and it can be Shadow Shiny. And because of that, the only way to get Shadow Beldum is to wait until it comes back and rotates back into the Team Go Rocket leader encounters. And you want a Shadow Beldum. Shadow Metagross is the current #1 overall Steel type, outclassing both Mega Scizor and Mega Steelix. I'm pretty sure this is the only Shadow Pokemon that is the #1 overall in its entire typing over Mega Pokemon. And again, you could get it Shadow Shiny, which is like sick. But even the normal version of Metagross is a freaking beast, ranking 4th overall as a Steel type and 32nd in the Masters League. Take advantage of it when it's here. And finally, Xurkitree. Now I know at the time of this recording, Xurkitree technically hasn't been released globally yet, so heed this as a warning. Xurkitree is one of the first and only Ultra Beasts in Pokemon Go, and it's currently one of the most useful. This beast was first released during a Pokemon Go Fest in Japan and is rumored to be released globally later on this year. And although it's going to be released soon and therefore not technically rare at the time, I personally believe we will not see much of Xurkitree or even the other Ultra Beasts after their initial release. And in the meta, Xurkitree is pretty solid, ranking 7th overall as an electric type attacker, which again is super duper helpful with all of the flying type raid bosses. It also ranks 88th in the Masters League, which is decent. But again, after its initial release, I think this thing is going to be rare. Talking about like once a year rare, maybe. And those were 9 rare Pokemon you should always catch. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and check out the other videos on screen. I'll see you in there, friends.